I would love for that to be my experience, but them Lego manuals stress me out more than an IKEA manual. So I can't listen to nothing but my internal thoughts, okay? What's up, y'all? Welcome back for another episode of the Loan Limit Podcast. I'm your host, Chelsie. This is your host, Jay.
Hey.
And, it's an episode.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I feel like whenever I start an episode this way, I don't know where it's gonna go. So we're gonna see.
I'm just he man. I don't know. I don't even know.
Sometimes, okay, so when I was in grad school, I had a professor who said, you ever look around the room for the adult and you realize you are the adult in the room?
Yes, that happens to me often.
That's how I feel in this moment. Like, I'm in charge. Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
We sure about
I'd be like, who's responsible? And I'm like, oh, me. Dag. All right.
You know, I think the problem is, guys, we decided to have a nostalgia episode. We read a book from childhood, and yeah, it put me in a kid state of mind.
Okay. You know what? I'll be honest. I don't know if I read it as a kid.
Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah. I read it though for this one, so yeah.
Yep. But let's start off with our favorite part, the hot topics, the internet of the day.
What is happening? I have been not online, y'all. I be finding stuff out like 3 days later, so catch me up.
All right, so here's the deal. Number one, I'm behind on my reading goal, y'all. I'm gonna put it out there. By the time y'all are seeing this, we have about 5 days left in the year.
Dang, yes.
At the time of recording, I have 7 books to go.
Okay, that's not horrible.
It wouldn't be if I haven't been in a slump for 6 months of the year.
Yeah, we've slumped pretty hard.
So, what I've taken to doing is listening to audiobooks while I grandma craft.
Why is it called grandma craft? That's so funny.
Which sometimes is great because I read To Kill a Mockingbird and I was locked in. Done forgot my whole life. And then there are times where I'm reading a book and I can't remember to count my stitches. Because I'm too busy following the books.
Listening to the book, yeah.
The amount of times I have just stopped crochet hook in hand and yarn and just been like, wait a minute. What we doing? So
okay, that's me when I listen to an audiobook while I'm doing laundry. I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, why is the laundry going? Girl, you haven't finished putting it in. I just sit there like literally just mid. I just be sitting there like, and I'll be like, oh, let me hit pause for a second so I can do the thing. So do it. Sometimes it's not all the time, and it's not during a whole book. It's like during specific parts. When stuff is like popping, I gotta be like, wait, let me focus.
So Jay, checking in with you, how are you doing with your reading goals of the year?
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't think I'm on board, on brand, on par, whatever the term is. I don't think I'm gonna make mine. Now, it's interesting, as you guys know, I never really do them. Like, I don't have a reading goal. I just read to read. But I was like, you know what? I think I can do 50 because, like, it's me. And I have the podcast, so I'm already going to get, like, probably, like, a solid, 20-something books just with the podcast.
I don't expect one was wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm probably in, like, the 40s with my book reading. And, yes, there are definitely still days left in the year. I'm not making it. I am not making it. All them days got tasks assigned to them, and reading barely makes the cut. So, and I'm okay with that. As you guys know, I read for fun, so I'm okay with not making my goal. Like Chelsie,
I'm not okay.
like Chelsie, I've been in a really deep book slump, and part of it was just like I was DNFing left and right, and I was like, it's not the books, it's me, and so I just like took a pause, and then when I kind of came back to like, ooh, I want to read, I was just so busy. So, and not to say like I can read when I'm busy, but it's the specific type of busy that I was, where I was like I was reading for work all day, where I did not want to read for fun afterward. So
it's also like we did a lot of traveling this year, y'all, where we had to be social. It wasn't traveling like let me go hide and like have some me time. Like we went on a trip to Italy for a week,
which was great.
I think I read half a book.
You know what's funny?
Week.
In Italy, I read 3. I read 3
in all fairness, Jay was sick most of that trip.
I was gonna say, I also was like in my hidey hole a little bit out of necessity. My body was fighting against me. And so
my body said we out on the town.
I think there was like 2 times I decided not to go out with everybody, and I stayed in, and I got through like a book and a half in both of those sessions. So yeah, we had a little bit different experience in that regard. But yeah, it was the first time I actually like read for fun passively with my free time, and I really enjoyed it.
Meanwhile, on the other hand, if we weren't on a bus and I wasn't asleep, I was out in them streets. So
yeah, I read on almost all the bus rides, and yeah, there was a couple times in the hotel I was reading as well. Here's my thing, y'all know I'm a big sports fan. All the sports were in Italian, and I didn't get that far into my Duolingo lessons, so I just started reading my books.
Killing the songs. I wish I could count the Duolingo stories that I had to read as books for the challenge, because in that case, I've read like 10 extra books.
Got it? Yeah, nah. If I can count all the emails I read, I for sure got it, because them joints be long.
It's a wrap at that point.
Yeah.
So, if y'all are watching this at December 31st, check in on TikTok and Instagram, and we'll see where I net out. We will see. I got one more trip for this year because I got to go home for Christmas.
Oh. But I was like, where are you going? Okay, yeah.
So, once I get around my family, that is where it'll be a high stress environment of leave me alone. I gotta work and I gotta read. So this weekend as we film, as soon as we're done, headphones are on, grandma crafts in hand. I gotta get this done.
So I actually am like looking forward to start a new hobby, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to do it. So I was looking to get back into Legos because I loved them as a kid. And I'm finding that like the book community is now getting into Legos. And so I think that's going to be my thing. I don't want it to be because I think it can be like a really big rabbit hole. But a couple like book influencers are starting to get on the trail and they make it look so fun. And I think that would be a great like audiobook experience, like audiobook while I'm doing Legos.
I would love for that to be my experience, but them Lego manuals stress me out more than an IKEA manual, so I can't listen to nothing but my internal thoughts, okay? Too many times I've been like, what color is this supposed to be? Does it even matter?
Oh, I haven't even started one, so I'll see how the journey is and I'll report back, y'all.
I wish I had my manuals nearby to show you. But
mine are still in the box, so I haven't even... You know what I think I'm going to have to start, and I like to do this, is I might have to start it with a reread versus a new book, because in that way I can kind of focus a little more. Okay, yeah.
But Lego, if you see this, send me the Game Boy one, and I'll put it together and do some marketing for you.
They have a Game Boy one?
I'll send you the link after this.
This is why I'm scared of the rabbit hole. I'm scared of the rabbit hole, y'all.
I got a little mini library. I got the Pixar lamp. I got the Game Boy on the way. It's a wrap.
So one was a gift to me, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I loved Legos as a kid, so I'm excited to do like the adult version of it. And then the other one, I saw it, and it just spoke to me, and I was like, okay, let me get it. And I was like, Jay, you have to do them to see if you actually like them before you get more. So I'll see if it's a me activity. I'll see if it's a me activity, and then we'll see how far the rabbit hole goes.
Fair enough. I'm gonna be honest, Jay. I started the day going, I haven't really been on the internet hard enough to really know if if anything's happening in the world
Okay.
of the book land, if you will. I was really fully prepared to come on here and be like, I ain't got nothing to tell you. Let's just talk about the book.
I mean,
because
really
my
TikTok, so.
my TikTok is now all crafts and like all my ADHD activities.
Oh,
so
your
it's running,
algorithm is
crocheting, bread, all of that. It's shifting currently because it knows me and my little side quest, as my cousin likes to call them.
That's a good.
But then
that's a good activity term.
But then I was quickly reminded that a member of the flatback community got on the internet and decided to say some ridiculousness, and here we are. I hope you're ready for this one. So
I'm still processing the flatback community. Okay, go ahead.
This woman got on the internet and said, if you're unemployed and you're boasting about reading 100 books a year, I don't want to hear tips and tricks from you.
I actually heard about this. I didn't hear the original video. I heard stitches of the video, and I said, you know what? I don't need to fight today. And I got off the internet.
Here's the problem.
All right, let's
hold on.
Okay.
I gotta give you the full download.
I'm listening.
Because here's the problem. What she was trying to say, I agreed with.
Okay.
What she in fact said, sweetheart, I need you to stop posting things.
Okay.
So
give me the full rundown. Give me the full rundown.
So what she's saying is that she's frustrated with people that typically have more time than those who are employed, being like, here's my tips and tricks on how to read 100 books per year. Like, part of it is you have to put your phone down. And it's like, sweetheart, you have extra time in your day to read 100 books. Yeah. Whereas I still have to go to a 9 to 5.
Right.
So your tips and tricks do not apply.
Are not the same. Yes.
And so she was just saying, like, yo, if you're going to be giving out tips and tricks, could you at least preface it with, like, hey, I don't have a normal 9 to 5?
Yes. I actually completely agree with that. Yeah. There's just a level of,
I agree with that.
Yes.
Like, hey, just put an asterisk on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
perfect
here's tips
asterisk.
And tricks.
Yep.
Asterisk. For those who have extra time in their day.
Yeah.
What it came out as saying is, if you are unemployed, boo-boo, you need to clock in.
Sorry. Wait. This reminds me, I think it might have been Kim Kardashian that was like, you need to go to work.
Yeah. She was like, every person has all the same 24 hours in a day. And I was like, shut up. How about that?
No, girl, no. Okay.
So it was giving that energy, which has now set the internet off on a tangent of like, F you, flatback. And so I
need you to control yourself, right?
So I'm in these comments being like, do I even start to engage? And like, I think what she meant to say was, because at the same time, I'm like, boo-boo, you had to rewatch this. And at this point,
and it posted, yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what? Die on that molehill by yourself, okay?
I'll be honest, the reason why I don't have as many TikToks on my TikTok, because I'll record a whole thing, and then I watch it back, and be like, you know what? I can already see the comments. Delete.
Meanwhile, I'm on TikTok just commenting like the craziest of things and being like, why do I have so many notifications?
Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty of it. I too agree with you in terms of like the sentiment behind it. If you naturally, or I shouldn't say naturally, just you organically, because of your set schedule, which is more open and available than most.
Right.
If you naturally have more reading time, I agree. I'm not going to say that you can't give tips and tricks to people, but I agree that there should be like a caveat of like, I have a less structured day. Like my work schedule isn't structured for me because I'm not working or whatever the case may be. Right. I will say this, the way I received it, like I said, I didn't see the original sourced video. I just saw the stitches of it. To me, it actually kind of felt like a dig at book influencers. That's what it felt like to me. Not necessarily like people that are unemployed. For me, it kind of felt like a direct dig at book influencers about how dare you tell me how to read when, like, I guess you're getting like paid or, you know, what, incentivized to read kind of thing. That's what it kind of felt like to me, not seeing the original video.
So I went and watched the original because I am sick and tired of seeing a glimpse of a video and then somebody's reaction to it without giving full context. That drives me insane, if we're being honest. So I went and watched the full video, and she was saying, like, whether you're employed or unemployed, that 100 books counts. I'm not null and voiding that situation there. I mean, null and void is a word. I just forgot how to pronounce letters all of a sudden. But she was just basically saying that, like, telling someone who is employed your tips and tricks on how to read 100 books, but you're unemployed, like, just tell me that, because you might give off advice that sounds right, but doesn't actually fit my life as an employed person. Yeah. Is what she was trying to say. And I agree. Like, just tell me, like, if you got extra time in your day, just tell me that so that I'm not out here trying to mimic you so I could be one of the cool people. And if your response is, sweetheart, just put your phone down and spend more time reading, no. Because sometimes I need to disassociate from the world before I can jump into another world, okay?
Right. Your clock out time doesn't mean you immediately clock back into life. You have to commute. You do have to disassociate and kind of just like get the day off, and then you can get into your activities. So I agree.
So, sometimes I gotta let the brain cells cool off before I can start a book. Okay, I gotta let them breathe. Okay.
Have you ever tried to read and your mind is just like, no, like that's hard. Like your brain just goes, I refuse to accept these words.
Check this out. I'll do even one better. I read books and the lines will start reminding me of song lyrics. And now for the next 3 paragraphs, I'm singing an entire song and go, I don't know what's happening in this book. Because I got Hamilton in my head because you said the phrase nonstop. That's not fair to me. Okay? So tell me to put my phone down and get off TikTok. Sometimes that's true, okay? Sometimes I get on an app and 4 hours go by. I've never responded to a notification in my life. And then sometimes I'm on there for 15 minutes and I go, I'm bored. And I go read my book. Okay?
What I don't like is I get caught in threads. And sometimes I'll get frustrated. I'm like, Jay, the amount of threads that you read, the comment, that you could have been reading the book. But yeah. But it's different. It is a little different. But no, I actually agree with the original poster in terms of like, just caveat it. That's it. It's just a matter of communication. Just caveat it because I definitely know my reading patterns when I'm working versus when I'm not working are very different. My book consumption when I'm not working is a lot higher because I have full autonomy over my time. And then my book consumption when I am working is a lot lower just because sometimes, and not to say like reading is like a burden, but sometimes I'm just using my cognitive brain so much throughout the day. I don't want to process information. The mental fortitude
just isn't there.
Yeah, I just don't want to process information when I'm not working. I just want to not. So like sometimes instead of doing an audiobook, I'll just listen to music, or I'll play like Sudoku or just do something mindless to just let the brain relax because I don't want to worry about character names or plot points or what happens next. I just want to not. So I completely get it. And I agree. I will say this though, like people's, like rate of reading is different. Like everyone's rate of reading is different. Yeah. So I also don't want to say or assume, and we're not saying that, but I also don't want to say and assume that like people that have very high reading counts it's only because they're unemployed and have nothing to do. No, you have people that read at a fast rate and have jobs and read and consume for fun. So, I just think, having the caveat would be helpful. Also, I would really love for more book, I guess, tips and tricks to be available that aren't stuff we've already heard. Like, I'd be open to new tricks and stuff. I haven't really heard anything, like, unique in a while.
I would like to put a caveat out for today's book, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So, I need y'all to understand that when this book was popular, there were a lot of similar things being put out into the media. So please forgive me for the things I'm about to say. Today's book is Charlotte's Web by E.B. White.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest before we even get started. I thought I had read this book, and I was 95% sure I had read this book before. Now I think I just watched the movie.
That's what it is! No, thank you! Okay, no, same. I definitely thought I read this as a child, because it's like a classic book. They, like, make you read it, whatever.
Right.
I'll be honest, I'm a heavy reader. I got out of reading a lot of classics when I was younger. I really wasn't supposed to, but I got out of it because I was like, look at all the other books I'm reading. It's okay if I don't read this one. Like, if the book wasn't read in class.
She was homeschooled, y'all. She was homeschooled.
Actually, no, this is actually when I was in, like, regular school. No, this is 1,000% when I was in regular school. I would hop and skip out of the classics because I hated them all. But if we had to read it in class, that's actually how I read most of the classics in class. But if they were just like assigned and they would give us a test, that was like the only time I would full on Spark Notes a book, because I was like, I'm not reading this. I never believed in Spark Notes except for classics. That was the only time I fully was like, I will invest in this medium.
So after completing today's book, I think what happened is I read the book in school, right? But at the same time, Dakota Fanning was in a movie version of it. And then, because if one works, you have to make similar ones. Babe came out, which is another pig movie.
Another pig movie, yeah.
And I spent this entire reread waiting for quotes from Babe. So...
Okay, so I read it via audiobook, and I actually read it via audiobook, I think was it the author reading it? I think it was the author reading it.
Yeah, the author did it.
Because there's also like a dramatic reading of like with a whole bunch of
which
like,
is the one I listened to.
Yeah, I low-key wanted to cheat and read yours, but I was like, Anyway.
It had Meryl Streep as the narrator. It made me happy.
No, that's valid. So what was interesting is the whole book, I'm reading it and I'm like, I don't remember none of this. But like, I kind of remember some of it, but I don't remember none of this. But I agree. I think I might have seen the movie version of it in some capacity and never read the book, because I was sitting there with the twists and turns like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I guess I didn't read it as a kid. I definitely read Anne of Green Gables. I absolutely read Anne of Green Gables. I remember that book vividly. And, the one that they did, Bridge to Terabithia. She remembers it so well. Bridge to Terabithia.
That was a school book for you?
Yeah.
Good God.
I remember those two. I know I read those two for sure. I don't know about any of these other ones.
Getting into today's book, it's about a little girl named Fern. It's really not even about her. She's just the intro to all of this. Yeah. It's really about a pig named Wilbur, which I remember that part.
Okay, literally, when they named Wilbur, I was like, this is where all the Wilbur jokes come from. I was discovering stuff live and in color. The whole time. Okay, I'm not even kidding. And you think at the context clues, I would have figured it out. I thought the pig's name was supposed to be Charlotte. So when the pig's name was Wilbur, I was like, I'm confused.
It's a 4-hour audio book. It's a children's book, and 2 adults are stumped. How did we get here?
Yeah. Okay. Before we get into the chaos, I do want to start off by saying I actually really liked E.B. White's writing. Mm-hmm. And I think he did such a colorful way of describing certain things, especially like emotions, in a children's book, right? Because for the most part, the age that's reading this is probably their first time hearing some of these things described. And I think he did a really, really good job of that. Like, I had multiple notes of like, that's a great way to describe that feeling and that emotion, right? But yeah, I was definitely confused when the spider was named Charlotte, and I thought that was supposed to be the pig the whole time. And then I was like, okay, Wilbur, that's why people make Wilbur jokes. It's because of the pig. Like, I connected so many information while reading this.
So the book is called Charlotte, not comma, apostrophe S Web. Charlotte's Web. But apparently the pig is supposed to be named Charlotte. Anyway.
I thought it was like Charlotte's Web of Friends. I didn't know it was a literal web. Like,
So, one morning, Fern's getting ready for school, and her daddy takes off to the barn with an axe. And she said, somebody want to explain what's going on here?
Yeah.
It turns out that the family pig had given birth, and there was a runt in the litter, and the daddy decided it had to go. Personally, I think that's a little disrespectful. We never know how the pig was going to grow. So Fern convinced her dad not to nix the pig, and instead brought the pig in the house and named him Wilbur. And it became her responsibility to feed this pig. Now, personally, I think her parents did her dirty because they let her keep it for like 6 months and then all of a sudden said it had to go.
I agree. Like,
why you let me get attached to Wilbur and give him a name if I now gotta sell the pig to somebody else?
I completely agree. And also, the pig wouldn't even have been in the place to sell and make him profit off of unless homegirl was like, let me take the pig. So, yeah, I agree.
And then you have me out here lowballing the worth of my pig to my uncle, who is still going to turn around and kill the pig.
And then make a profit, too. I
said...
No, I was sitting here like, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I will say this. I think E.B. White did such a great job of starting the story, like, already in motion. Like, it actually reminded me, I don't know if this is the best analogy, but it actually reminded me of how Shonda Rhimes starts a lot of her stories. Like, she drops you in on stuff already happening, and you just tag along to a new person to find out the things with the new person. And I actually really like that he used, like, Fern as that, like, she's asking these questions in this new discovery for us to learn about the pig and the barn and all that. Yeah.
So, Wilbur gets shipped off to Fern's uncle's farm. That was a hard sentence. I don't know why I did that to myself. Where Wilbur starts making friends, or at least he tries to. But he depressed as hell because his girl Charlotte ain't coming over.
Burn.
And then he tries to escape thanks to the farm's goose. Yeah.
Yeah. That goose was on something, at least in the audiobook.
Yeah. That's how it is. That's how it's written.
Okay. I was like, someone check what's in the goose's bucket because...
Listen, if I had 8 children... I'd be a little crazy too. So Wilbur starts making friends. Well, he meets Charlotte, who decides she'll be his friend. Mm-hmm. Charlotte is the farm spider hanging out in the corner of his pig pen.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna say this too. Charlotte set Wilbur up for just sadness. Because how you going to tell him, I'm going to be your friend, I'm going to be there for you, and then go, okay, well, it's my time to head on out. So, good luck, bruh.
I have a question for you. Who do you feel are, like, the main characters of the book?
Well, I'm a name Charlotte since the book is named after her, and Wilbur since the book is about his life. Mm-hmm. Why?
I was just wondering, because I felt like Templeton, the rat, had, like...
He's a co-star.
Yeah. And it was interesting because I kind of felt like Fern was probably going to have a thicker plot. And I guess she's attached. Like, she's a part of it. But I actually thought she was going to have a thicker plot. But I kind of felt like Templeton shined a little bit more.
Yeah, the same way a mafia boss shines. So Charlotte becomes Wilbur's friend, and he starts getting along with the other farm animals. Mm-hmm. Until a little sheep comes by and says, well, it was nice knowing you, Wilbur. And he said, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Them farm animals was messy.
Yo, the way she just said, good luck. It walked off like, ain't my problem.
Word.
I just get shaved every year. So Wilbur discovers that even though Fern rescued him from the axe once, come wintertime, come Christmas, that ex is coming back.
Yeah.
And so then Charlotte is like, I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to be honest, Charlotte, I was worried because I didn't know what was coming next. So Charlotte decides to write a word in her web to somehow save Wilbur. Listen, I had to suspend reality for a child's book.
For a spider's mind, I thought her little, like, plan was genius, alright?
Listen, it worked, alright? So, on a little foggy morning, the farmhand comes out and sees the word "some pig" above his head in a spider web. Now, personally, at this point, I'm calling the pastor. I'm telling him to bring his holy water, his cross, and his Bible, because this whole barn needs to be set on fire and rebuilt.
Okay.
No, I don't want it. I don't need it.
This is what I thought was interesting, though. Everybody kind of had, like, a weird assumption that, like, Wilbur had something to do with the webbing. The mom was the only one that was like, that's a cool spider. Like, what? Like, the spider's doing the thing.
First, Bob was like, you really think these animals are talking and you understand it, but everybody bought in to a spider web having words written into it. And I said, what?
Yeah.
So
the fact that it was an attraction, I was like, you know, this is some, like, middle of nowhere.
Right. So,
because in the city, they would have knocked that web down so fast.
Bruh, get out I'm more annoyed that I got a spider in my barn causing problems.
Word.
They're worried about this pig.
Yeah.
But the town starts to discover the story of this some pig. And he becomes an attraction. And cute old Wilbur just standing in his pen looking cute. Hi there.
I love that Wilbur was like, if Charlotte wants me to be fantastic, I'm going to be fantastic. I'm going to try to look as much. Like, I thought that was really cute. Yeah. Like, the Wilbur-Charlotte, like, friendship was truly adorable in terms of, like, they don't make sense at all. But
welcome to the story of Charlotte's love.
Yeah, it was so cute.
So, Charlotte now has to keep coming up with these words. And Charlotte decides to now call the pig Radiant. And something else that I can't remember in this moment, I don't know why, it is escaping my brain.
It was either fantastic or terrific.
Yes, it was terrific because the geese were like, double T, double T.
Yeah.
And she said, so, no.
She was like, I'm not doing all them letters.
And it grows to the point that Fern's uncle decides to put Wilbur in the county fair. Mm-hmm. And we're off on an adventure.
Yep.
At this point, Fern has gotten annoyed because her little quiet spot, her respite from the world, has now become a main attraction. Her mama telling her she crazy and she need to go make friends. And her brother is just acting like a brother.
Her brother needs to get snatched up. But for me, I thought it was very interesting because the mom was like, Fern, you can hear the animal. Like, the mom was genuinely, like, scared and concerned for her daughter. Like, she went to, like,
her mom went to the doctor.
She was like, listen, there's something wrong with that kid. She outside of the
not
bar.
Right, bro.
And I thought it was very interesting because it was just very interesting. And I get it. It's, like, the times. Like, when I think this was probably written in the 50s or something like that. And it was kind of just one of those things where it was just, like, the mom literally was like, please stop playing with animals and go find boys. Like, she was, like, actively, like, supporting that route because this was conceived as, like, crazier. And I was just like, that's such an interesting take at that time, you know? But it was also interesting to me because I feel like Fern also had such good, like, rapport with all the animals. Like, they all seemed to respect her. Like, they invited her into that time. Mm-hmm. I was kind of the mindset that she couldn't necessarily hear all the specific stories until, like, she told her mom. I just thought she was just chilling in the barn with, like, all the animals, and they were, like, making animal noises to her. But it wasn't until she was talking
we had
to
a
the
little
mom.
White Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, no, it wasn't until she was talking to the
Doolittle.
mom saying, like, what the stories were. And I was like, oh, no, she actually is understanding what they're saying. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
So we get to the fair. We got Charlotte in tow and the barn rat Templeton. I'm going to be honest. And I need you to hold in your laughter. I know that Templeton was a barn rat, but in visualizing him, I thought of the rat from Cat Dog, the little blue one. Because they give the same energy. I said to hold your laughter, ma'am. Hold it in. Thank you.
Actually, you know what rat it reminded me of, and I knew it wasn't like a direct one. Was actually
Stuart Little?
Huh?
Stuart Little?
No. Also, did you know that E.B. White wrote Stuart Little? I had no idea.
Apparently, Stuart Little isn't even supposed to be a mouse in that book. That's a conversation for another day.
Like anyway. No, it was actually the mouse that we read in the coffee book, which is that latte and as something in lattes. Latte and something. That one.
I don't even want to correct this one.
Don't give me that look. Luncheon and lattes. No, that's not it. Something with coffee.
Legends and lattes.
Legends. Yes. Legends and lattes. It was the mouse that was like making the little treats. That's actually what reminded me of, but completely different vibes. It was like if he had an evil uncle. That's who Templeton was in my mind. So
we get to the fair. And now Fern's auntie has bought in and given the pig a milk bath and made him all shiny. The whole family is there, locked in. Mm-hmm. At this point, Wilbur's future has been secured. Let's be real. But we gotta see it out.
Yeah.
So, first day at the fair, everybody scatters. Everybody having a good time. I like me a good fair too. But they come back the next morning and they find out that Uncle Pig next door, somebody else's pig, done won first place, which I think is disrespectful. We didn't have enough time for the pig to do anything. It's really rude. How you gonna count my boy Wilbur out like that? I just want to know, EB.
I kind of felt that it was kind of one of those things where like there's multiple categories, and I just assumed that Uncle won for like the biggest pig. And that was like, you don't have to show anything. Like, you can just, that's the biggest pig. So he won first place. That's what I kind of assumed.
So Charlotte gives Wilbur one last phrase in her web.
Yeah.
But Charlotte is having some health struggles in this moment.
Yeah.
And this is the part where I said, oh, no. No.
Yeah. I didn't see it coming because I didn't know.
Did you see the pregnancy scare coming?
I did, because he mentioned that her belly was getting big. Yeah,
he was like, she's swollen. I'm sure you said you have a baby and you wasn't expecting 500 of them.
I wasn't expecting that many, but yeah. I said, oh, she can let thickums. And she ready to lay something.
She ready to pop.
Mm-hmm.
So Charlotte gives one more web. I don't remember what it said at this point.
It said humble.
Which is crazy. That's true.
It's also correct. Crazy that I'm remembering all these and I actually did not write down what the web said. But okay, yeah.
Listen, I did my best to remember character names. I'm showing growth in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So Charlotte does that. She lays her eggs, and then I don't know why my brain just can't figure out which one came next. Anyways, Wilbur then wins a special prize, and Fern's uncle wins $25 or $20. Personally, I think that money.
Go ahead.
It's a lot of money, but I think it should be going to Fern. Because without Fern, we would have none of this.
I don't think it would go to Fern, but I also think that, like...
If Fern hadn't saved Wilbur, we would not be at the fair winning $25.
I agree, but I also think you're not going to give a small child who saved a pig $25. Like, you could slide her $1 or $2.
Yeah, you could break her off a little sham.
Yeah, I would slide her $1 or $2 for sure. But I'm not kidding.
Well, also, he was making money from everybody who was coming by the farm. So,
was he charging them? Because it didn't really seem like it.
I assumed.
Oh, Because I was sitting there, I was like, y'all could low-key do a little ticket situationship, and then here, pick some apples while y'all here, do some farm work, and experience the farm. But that only works for city people. I don't think farm people are going to another farm to do work.
No. And so Wilbur has to take Charlotte's babies home with him because Charlotte is not making it back to the farm. And Wilbur is not amused by this because what do you mean you're not coming home with us?
Yeah.
So he makes one last deal with the devil, aka Templeton, that if he gets the sack down, Templeton gets first bites of all his food for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, honestly, not the worst thing. It's a mouse. How much can he eat? So we make it back to the farm, and I was doing okay until the babies hatched. I was doing okay. You know, life at the farm is good. His little medal gets hung up outside his pen so people can come see him. Mm-hmm. And the medal, it's cute. Charlotte died in the way they described her death, so sad and lonely. I said, why did you do that to my girl?
I literally said, Charlotte's dying is so sad. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The way E.B. was like, she died by herself as people just left.
In the trash. I was like, what? Why? Why? Yeah, it was.
Here's the funny thing, though. The beginning of the book and trying to kill Wilbur. All right, cool. It's the circle of life. The way they described Charlotte's death, I said, this is a kid's book, right?
I did the same thing. And then I literally was just like, we also grew up watching, like, The Lion King and Bambi. So maybe this is just what they did to us. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, eventually Charlotte's babies hatch. I think that's the correct term for this.
Sure.
And Wilbur becomes inundated with 500 Charlotte's babies. And then one windy day, they all just start to leave him. And I said, no, you come back.
Yeah, when he was like, wait, what? Oh my gosh. Like, those two moments, I was tore up from the floor up. Oh my gosh.
And then the three girls decide to stay.
Joy.
And I said,
Arachnia and Nellie. Yeah. Yeah.
And I just said, that's right, you stick beside him.
Yeah, that's Grandpa Wilbur right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is where it really tugged at my heartstrings because E.B. starts talking about how eventually Fern stops visiting Wilbur, and generation after generation, every year the spiders come and go, and all Wilbur does is think about Charlotte.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to be this way. It didn't have to be this way, E.B.
Yeah.
We could have stopped before Charlotte died. I would have been okay.
We didn't even need to hear what happened at the fair. We wasn't there. We were back at the farm. Yeah.
We could have stayed at the farm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the book ends on a happy note of, year after year, people may come and go, but Wilbur is still there, living his happy life in his pig pen. Mm-hmm. Being known as some pig.
I also love that was considered like a compliment. He's some pig.
Oh boy, he's some pig. I said, we can say that in a different tone and it's going to be different.
Also, could have said all the other words they said. Terrific, radiant, not some pig.
But that wasn't the original phrase. And
it was a journey.
I just went. It was a quick one, though.
Sure.
I mean, it's a 4-hour audiobook, so it's got to be around 200 pages. Not even.
Sure.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about you and your preferences, ma'am. I'm just talking about the length of the book.
It was a 4-hour audiobook that did not feel like 4 hours to me.
Yeah, because you didn't enjoy it, I can tell.
I didn't say that.
Oh, so if I ask you right now, Jay, what would you rate this book? What would you rate it?
I don't know yet. I gotta figure that out.
What do you mean, Jay?
Okay. So last week, I actually gave a book a higher rating because it was like a holiday book. So I was like, it has a little bit more room for... Today's a classic, and I actually feel like it's the opposite effect because I'm not a big classic person. I think I'm rating it a 2. I did not enjoy it, but and like the end got me. Like I definitely had some feelies. It got me emotionally, but that 4 hours. Oh my gosh! I dragged through them, and I had it super sped up too. I dragged through those 4 hours. And there was multiple times I'm like, I don't know if I like reading pig stories. So it's
because you read them so often.
That's a valid question, but no. I didn't really enjoy the reading experience. And that's what I say. I think E.B. is a great writer. I thought he wrote a great book. It's obviously a classic for a reason, and I understand that. Just not for me. Like, even as a kid, these weren't the kind of books I liked reading, which is kind of why I like to avoid them. But, for me personally, I think it's a 2. Like, I think it's a good book, but I'm not reading that again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair. I don't foresee myself reading again, but that's purely because I thought I was reading the story of Babe. And if you haven't seen Babe, the movie, or Babe in the Big City, go ahead, watch that one. Okay, those are my... I gave it a 4. While I wouldn't read it again, if I think about it as a child book and not as a book written for a 32-year-old, it's a good book. Like, I ain't mad at it. I did spend the entire time waiting for a line that turns out was in Babe and not in this book. So
I
that
just
was
find
a little...
it so chaotic the way we both approached reading this book. Like, we both were mentally like, it's a different thing than what we thought it was going in.
So here's the thing, all right? Much like what they did with Twilight, y'all, how all of a sudden we have vampires being shoved down our throat. When Charlotte's Web came out, they said, here's about 50 different movies about a pig.
Yeah, I agree. And then, like, animals in general. Yeah.
So, in Babe, there's a line that's like, that'll do, pig, that'll do. And I've been saying that my entire
where
life.
That's from?
Yes.
I did not know that's where that was from.
I had to look it up.
That line. I did not know that was from Babe.
But I had to look it up because when Charlotte started to die, I said, I'm not getting my line. I'm a little confused on what's going on. And then I put the dots together that
it was the wrong.
This was not that story.
Yeah. That's valid.
I think this story itself is a great way to introduce kids to the idea of death and those things, learning about the circle of life because of the whole conversation with Charlotte and her killing bugs and everything, and having to explain, like, hey, this is just how the ecosystem works. Like, I think there were a lot of great topics introduced in this book that for a kid, I think I would have read this around like 7 or 8. I think this is a fantastic book at that age. Now,
I think
as someone who...
Go ahead.
As someone who was reading To Kill a Mockingbird at the same time, Boo Radley won, okay? I gave To Kill a Mockingbird a 5. This was not hitting like a 5. Okay. All right? So I listen.
No.
Great job, E.B. White, but Boo Radley gets it.
No, I had notes where I was just like, I literally said, it's an interesting way to hear depression described in this way in the book. Like when Wilbur got moved from the house and sold to the farm, and now he wasn't there with Fern every day getting like bottle fed and being held by the family at the dinner table. Like the way he went through a depression in that span, and then looking for friends because he was so accustomed to having Fern or the mom or someone always there. And then when he expressed like the loneliness, you know, with the thought of losing Charlotte, and then after Charlotte eventually did leave him, I literally have a note. I was like, Wilbur is so emotional. But like the way that the feelings are described and the way that they are conveyed, I think it could give voice, especially to younger kids reading this, in terms of like, oh, this is what this feeling is, potentially loneliness. What's something I can do to solve it is maybe finding a friend. Like I thought that it was really great, like step-by-step introductions and also solutions to some things. That's why I started off by saying, I think it's very well written. Very well written. Just not for me.
What would have made it a 3? I don't remember what a 3 is on your scale.
So a 2 for me is I finished it. I didn't like it. I would not reread. A 3 is like I read it. It wasn't a horrible experience, but I also probably won't reread it. I think just that my reading experience was just so draggy for me that.
Yeah.
And maybe if I read it with my eyes and I could kind of like zoom through it, maybe it would have been different. But I also liked the way, like, again, I had the author doing it. I love the way he gave voice to all the characters. Like, the audiobook version of it, I thought was top notch. Like, I thought it was a great experience in terms of what they put on. I just didn't. It just... So in terms of, like, what does even get it to a 3 for me? I think maybe more humans?
Wilbur dying in the first chapter?
No! No! I think maybe more humans. Because it was interesting. So I had an afterword, and the afterword it kind of described a couple things about Eva, whatever. And something I thought was interesting is that technically Wilbur and Fern are like the main characters, and they lead 2 different plot lines. I thought like the whole Fern might be crazy plot was kind of just thrown out the window when they saw her with a boy on a Ferris wheel. And I kind of was like, I feel like we could have explored that a little bit more. And then also like Fern telling the stories, and like I feel like there could have been a little bit more Fern elements, and then maybe I would have enjoyed that a little, like a more human element. I would have enjoyed that a bit more. Did not like her name being Fern. I kept thinking of a plant. Isn't that a plant, like a fern plant?
I'm just listening to your petty reasons, but yes, a fern is a plant. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I just
Ready to get it too because you don't like Fern's name is wild.
That's not why. I'm just saying I didn't love that element either. So yeah, it's just not for me. But and this is the thing is why I like to make the distinction. I think it's very well written. I think it's a good book. It's just not for me. So for me, it's a 2. But I think in terms of quality of a book, I agree with you. I think closer to like a 4 is pretty accurate. But just,
It's a 4 for me. It's a 4. But I will say Babe is better.
You was like, okay. I feel like you're mad you got hoodwinked by the pigs.
No, I just need to go watch Babe. I'll be all right. Kitty, I'll tell I'm a 90s kid. But yeah, I think that wraps up, 2025 for us, dude.
It does. Ooh, it was a journey.
I would just pray that my reading slump ends.
I would like. I feel like I'm starting to catch the book bug again, where I'm like, oh, that was good. Like I read a book in a day a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, that felt good, So I'm starting to get back into it, not fully. I think having the break as we kind of wind down for the end of the year, I think that will kind of just refresh my mind to be open to being like, ooh, I want to read a story,
Right.
Yeah.
This is coming out right after Christmas, so hopefully everybody survived Christmas with their families, and if you chose not to spend it with your family, I get it, Trust me, I get it. We will see y'all in 2026.
Yep.
That feels really wrong to say.
Feels weird, but we're there.
At this point, I'm about to go check and see what year Xenon is set in, because it's giving that energy.
No, because no joke, we are literally like in the times where things we grew up and stuff was set in the future, and we in the future settings now.
It was called 2001: A Space Odyssey, bro. 2001 was a space odyssey.
I don't like it.
I'm looking it up now because I had to see.
I don't like it. Me. No, but there's multiple like movies. I think wasn't it also like remember like Zoe 101, the time capsule they did? Like that was supposed to be opened. Like the things that were set in the future when we were kids are now. It's the now, and I don't like that.
I'm just like, what year was Xenon?
Hopefully it was like 2300 or 2030s or something.
Okay, we got time. It's in the year 2049.
Oh, okay, we good. I got so scared. Because we're not even close to being on the moon. not like civilization. They trying, but we not close. We not close.
And with that heart attack scare, we will catch y'all in the next one. Jay, say goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.